In 1991, The Fisher King appeared and made its $24 million costs alone in the US nearly 2 times back, was a worldwide success with audiences and critics, and has until now its loyal fans. The Fisher King first appeared in Bertrand de Troyer's unfinished novel Parzival in the 12th century, which served as the main source for Wolfram von Eschenbach's 16 books about Parzival. But the roots of the character are also suspected in Celtic mythology. There are several variations of the story, and I use a handwritten gift from a passionate medieval expert. The story begins when the king is a young boy. He was charged by God with guarding the Holy Grail, but incurred an incapacitating wound for his sin of pride. A simple-minded fool asks the king why he suffers, and when the king says he is thirsty, the fool gives him a cup of water. He realizes the cup as the Grail, baffled that the boy found it, as demonstrated in the closing exchange. How did you find what my brightest and bravest could not? I don't know. I only knew that you were thirsty. Radio host Jack Lucas is known for his sharp tongue and his big mouth when one day something he says triggers a tragedy. One of his fans runs amok, killing several people and committing suicide. Plagued with guilt, Jack lands in the gutter, and his only supporter is his new girlfriend. Here he meets the homeless Perry, who considers himself a knight of the round table and therefore saves his life, as a knight is defined by his doings. Jack discovers that Perry, a former literature professor, was the husband of one of the shooting victims. His fiancée was killed right before his eyes. What has led to his current state? American-British director Terry Gilliam, till now 13 features, is part of the legendary Monty Pythons, where in addition to smaller appearances, he was responsible for the famous cartoon sequences. As the only Monty Python member not born in Britain, he became a naturalized Briton in 1968 and officially renounced his American citizenship in 2006. After he co-directed the introduction short for Meaning of Life in 1983, he only worked on his own mainly European projects, and directed with The Fisher King his first all-American production. The fantastic and surreal runs through several of his movies. In Time Bandits in 1981, heaven-serving dwarfs travel through time by a divine map, stealing everything not nailed down. In 1985, Brazil is a Kafkaesque satire on the bureaucratic state, which despite failure at the box office is an absolute masterpiece and has virtually created its own subgenre. In 1988, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen became a huge box office bomb. The elaborate, completely over-the-top, very recommendable version of the famous German Baron of Lies was rightly celebrated by critics and won several awards. In 1995 comes with 12 Monkeys, again an interesting time travel movie about a fatal virus outbreak and a Bruce Willis in his best performance. And 1998, Fear and Laughing in Las Vegas, after the well-known novel by Hunter S. Thompson. This cult flop is about a continuous intoxication for days and a drug trip with hallucinations. The beautiful soundtrack by George Fenton contains songs from multiple genres, as well as pieces in which the main actors sing. Like in the movie, which partially has a musical character.
How about you?
The first time I heard of the Fisher King, I was a little concerned about the story. As a huge Terry Gilliam fan, it sounded untypical normal to me. And it turned out to be a normal story, but with highly imaginative parts. In time I learned to appreciate it. My friends back then liked it with the first watch, and it became fast one of our favorites. I was curious about the story of the Fisher King because I liked this part of the movie most. My girlfriend at the time supported my interest for her medieval hobby and wrote the very beautiful story down for me. The Fisher King is a small wonder. Its charm lies neither in the story that is very common and predictable, nor the setting, which comes off cold and artificial. It is the fantastic cast led by Robin Williams. For me, his best performance. The many interesting characters are portrayed very carefully and are able to connect with the audience. The main story is a bit naive, but the subtle allusions and hints to the Arthurian legend are just brilliant.
I mean, where would King Arthur be without Guinevere? Huh?
Happily married, probably.
Although the movie is far from perfect, Robin Williams is here very close.